shining in the divine realm of Gokul, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with the greatest speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with a fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with the 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with the ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such a childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulences that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with the intimacy and is free from all conception of awe and reverence. With a great love again, I offer my obeisances to the Lord Sri Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of the eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as a Bal Gopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with the red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like a bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuve, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own Prema Bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is abode of entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastime. Shri Shri Radha Damodar Bhagavan ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. So, I would like to invite all of you on the way to Vrindavan, where we will visit very few temples, because there are 5,000 temples in Vrindavan and we are not able to go each of that. So what we'll do today, we'll visit that temples which are established by our Shad Goswamis. As yesterday we have already discussed about the external parikrama of Vrindavan, and we have visited more than 50 places in an hour or so. So I don't know how long today it will take. I think all of you have some time with you, so we can carry on. So here, we welcome all of you on behalf of ISKCON Phoenix, first Victoria Vajramandal Parikrama 2016, and today is the second day, which we will have internal parikrama of city of temples, Vrindavan. So here we start. There are actually 5,000 temples, and for last decade, another hundreds had included or increased with another 100 numbers. But out of this 5,000 temples, the most important temples that we consider, which are established by our 6 Goswamis, and they are Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji, Shri Shri Radha Damodar, Shri Shri Radha Raman, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, and Shri Shri Radha Shyamsundar. These are the temples which are established by our 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami. These Goswamis were sent by Lord Gauranga to Vrindavan, giving them a mission of 4 things. He specifically told Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami that you should go to Vrindavan and re-establish all the places of pastimes. Secondly, establish the process through which you can render devotional service to their Lordship. And third, write a literature which will help us in progress toward Krishna consciousness. And fourth, to show by your own example that what are the symptoms of pure devotee who follow this path. And for that reason, all these acharyas, by their spiritual potency, they have re-established all these places in Vrindavan. So this is the first temple, which is known as the Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan temple. And the deities here of the Lordship Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan are called as a Sambandha Adideva. Means which establishes our relationship with the Supreme Personality of God. It gives us clear idea about who are we and what is our relationship with the Lord. And Sanatana Goswami has worshipped the Lordship Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan here in this temple. This is the aerial view of the temple. In the middle, we can see the main sanctum where deities used to have. Then the other side, they have the south gate, from where previously used to have an entrance. Because backside there used to be the river Yamuna flowing from there. But right now Yamuna has changed her course and she has gone near about 1.5 kilometers away from the temple. So this is the backside of the temple, which is considered as a Dwadasha Aditya Kila, which yesterday we have discussed already about. Then these are the front gate and south gate of Radha Madan Mohan Ji. It used to be like this previously. Yamuna used to go so close to Radha Madan Mohan, but now it's totally far away from there. And when in 16th century, some Mughals, they came and they invented all the temples in Vrindavan. That time, they took away Radha Madan Mohan from Vrindavan to Jaipur. The king Man Singh, he was a great devotee of the Lordship, so he took all the deities, all main deities from the Vrindavan. So that time he took it, and when Aurangzeb died, after that they again re-established the temple. So on the right hand side here, we see that that's the new building of the temple, and on the left hand side here, that was the kitchen, used to be a kitchen of Radha Madan those days. And these are the deities of Shri Radha Madan Mohan. On the left hand side, these are the original deities, and right hand side, they are the Pratibha Murti. They are considered as the Pratibha Murti. They were reinstalled when that small temple was built, when Aurangzeb died. And it is said in Padma Puran, whoever takes darshan of Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev and Gopinath Ji in one day, that person gets an actual darshan of their worship. Because when Vajranath, he reinstalled all these deities in Vrindavan some 5,000 years ago, he carved all the deities and showed it to Uddhava. And Uddhavji saw these particular three deities, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev and Radha Gopinath Ji. Then he told him, if you see the face of Govinda Dev, it exactly resembles the face of their Lordship. The Vakshasthala of Gopinath Ji is exactly resembles to the Vakshasthala of their Lordship. And lotus feet of Madan Mohan, they are exactly like the lotus feet of their Lordship. So whoever takes darshan in one day of all these three deities, because all these three deities are right now placed at different locations. Radha Madan Mohan Ji is at Karauli, which is near about 200 kilometers from Vrindavan. From there, Govind Ji is placed, which is 75 kilometers away from Karauli at Jaipur. And Gopinath Ji is just next to Govinda temple in the Jaipur. And whoever takes darshan before sun sets, that is considered that he has the full form darshan of the Lord. And Madan Mohan is having such a wonderful pastimes. When we heard them, we really get attached to them. Actually, Madan Mohan deities were worshipped by Advaita Acharya before Lord Chaitanya appeared in this world. He used to stay in Vrindavan near Advait Vat, and he used to perform his Shaligram worship. And that time, Lord appeared to him. There is a place called Prakatya of Madan Mohan Ji. When Advaita Acharya used to worship this deity, he used to call this deity as a Madan Gopal. And when he left from there, he handed over that deities to one of the Brahmana from Mathura, Chaube. And after some time, when Lord Chaitanya appeared and he met Sanatana Goswami and instructed him to go to Vrindavan and re-establish all these holy places. So Sanatana Goswami, when he came to Vrindavan, he was traveling around. He never used to stay at one place. He always used to travel all around. He never used to cook. Whatever madhikari or whatever alms he used to get, he used to take them. So one day he was traveling in Mathura and he saw there is a blackish boy running around. And his heart got attracted to one. He said, how come? My heart never got attracted to anyone. Why am I so attached to this particular boy? Let me see. So he just followed that boy and he went to that Brahmana's house. And he saw there that Brahmana and his wife stick in their hand. They were chasing all their kids. They are asking them now, if you will not sit here and eat, we will beat you with the stick. And very obediently all the kids, they sat down and they were having their food. And suddenly Sanatana Goswami came there and he saw the eternal form of Lord, Madan Mohan. And he said, he's none other than the Lord himself. And how come he's playing like a small kids with other kids and he's taking this way his service from Chaube? Then he called aside Chaube, that Brahmana, and he explained to him, you should not serve their lordship like this. And then he gave the whole rules and regulations that how one should worship the deities. And he went away and he was doing bhajan in Dwadashaditya Tila. And at late night, Lord appeared in front of him and he said, Sanatan, now you have changed everything for me. What I was getting, that was really wonderful from him. But since you have instructed him, everything has become now with the rules and regulation. And there is no devotion. It's very difficult for me to accept anything from that Brahmana now. So henceforth, you have to serve me. So I am coming to you now. And Sanatana Goswami said, see, at least he is feeding you nicely. If you come with me, you have to starve. Because I am not here to feed you. I myself go and beg whatever I get. Sometime I cook or sometime I never look at that also. So it's better that you should stay with him. No, Lord said no. Now I am coming with you. And next day that Chaube came along with Madan Gopal and he said, now please take care of him because he is reluctant to take any service from me. And then Madan Mohan, he was standing under the tree there. And Sanatana Goswami used to chant his round, and whenever he used to feel like writing, he used to write books. And whenever he used to feel hungry, then he used to go and beg food and come back. Here, Madan Gopal was like a small boy. One day he asked Sanatana, at least feed me something. I said, that's why I told you should be with him only, because I can't feed you, I don't have anything. At least something. Then Sanatana Goswami went around, he got some wheat flour, got some water from Yamuna, mixed it, made small balls and put it into the fire. And after some time he took it out, offered to their lordship. And without any difficulty, Madan Gopal started taking them. After a few days, then he again requested Sanatana, Baba, at least put some salt in there. It's not tasty at all. How I can eat? He said, that's why I told you. Be there with that Chaube, not with me. At least he will feed you nicely. Or otherwise you make your own arrangement. I can't do that. And that same time, there one was a merchant who was traveling from Delhi to Agra with his all groceries and other ornament. Some costly material he was carrying to Agra. And boat was fully loaded. And he got stuck in Yamuna. He got totally perplexed what to do now. Who's going to help me? Then some village people, they told him, yeah, you can go up there on the Dwadashaditya Tila and you will find one Babaji there. He's very expert. He knows everything. You go and ask him. He will tell you how to operate and take away your boat from there. Then he went and very humbly he asked Sanatana Goswami, Babaji, can you help me out? He said, what I can do? I don't know what to do with all these things. I don't have any skills about how to navigate your boat. And suddenly that time, Yamuna increased her water level. And the boat which was stuck in the sand got relieved. And boat started sailing. And that person became very happy. He went to Agra, got done some of his business, and he got a lot of profit. So he came back. and his name was Krishnadas Kapoor. He came back and he asked Sanatana Goswami that I would like to render some service to you. He said, how you are going to serve me, because I don't stay at one place. I keep changing my places. So what do you want to do? If you want to do something, then do it for him. And he just pointed toward Madan Gopal. And then that Kapoor, he built a fabulous temple for Madan Mohanji. And it was, even today also if you go, you can see the architecture and the beauty of that temple. They made it. After another 50 or 40 years, when Aurangzeb came, he was very cruel person. And he never liked anything which is built or done by Hindus there. So what he did, he saw that big temple, he asked his people go and destroy that temple. And when Mansingh, he came to know that they are going to invent all the temples in Vrindavan. So he immediately took Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Damodar, all the big deities on the bullock cart, and they started traveling. And when they left for Jaipur, he had one daughter. She fell in love with Radha Madan Mohan. When she got of a proper age to get married, she put one condition to his father. If you want me to get married, then I need one thing from you. And he said, what? I want Radha Madan Mohan with me. And he said, how I can give you? They are my life and soul. And she asked, then I am not your life and soul. He said, you are also, but I am too attached to him. Then she said, okay, if you don't want to give, then I will not get married. I will stay here only, because I want to serve you also. Then he said, okay, another week time, we'll have one test, and if you fulfill, and if you pass that test, then you can take Radha Madan Mohan with you. She said, okay, I'm ready for that. Then he called one sculptor and he asked him to make 3 deities like that. And that sculpture, he made exactly same deities. Outwardly, if someone sees, he can't make it out, they are different. Looks like they are same. Exactly. Then he asked his daughter, now tie your eyes and go in front of the deities. And when you touch the original deity, then you can take that. Or is it whichever deity you touch, that you have to take. She said, okay, no problem. Then she started praying to Radha Madan Mohan. Now I am in soup. It is really difficult to make it out who is who. You tell me what should I do. Then Radha Madan Mohan told her, when you touch him, what you should do? You touch my upper lips. Just take your hand near the lips, and if you feel breathing, that will be ideal. Stone deities and how they can breathe. But Lord says, I can do that. Then she went, tied her eyes, and went close near to deities. And she was taking her hand near the nose of the Lordship. And when he came exactly in front of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan started breathing. And she came to know that this is Radha Mohan. And she hugged him and took him to Karauli, where she got married. That way, need to be adjusted with this voice. So, that's the way Radha Madan Mohan got shifted from Jaipur to Karauli. So now Radha Madan Mohan is residing at Jaipur. Now also there are miraculous stories are there about Radha Madan Mohan, how he is relating himself with his devotees. And most of our devotees who are staying out of India, actually they are getting more realization about their Lordship. Because sometimes when they start from a Vrindavan to have a darshan of these all three deities, they go by car. Sometimes it happens that darshan is going to close. Because early morning you start it and you will get stuck somewhere at state boundary level where they have to pay taxes and there will be a long queue and it will take me about another 1 hour, 2 hours or sometimes 3 hours. You will get stuck there in the traffic. And it seems like you are going to miss the darshan. And by Madan Mohan mercy, somehow they make it. None of devotee we have heard that they have never got a chance to see. Sometimes either because of bhogas are not clear, that's why darshan has not closed because Lord had not honored his bhoga. Sometimes something used to happen because of that the afternoon darshan never used to get closed for a long time. So devotees used to get chance to have a darshan of Radha Madan Mohan. So Radha Madan Mohan is known as a Abhideya Dev. And prayer to Radha Madan Mohan we say that Jayatam Suratar Pangor Mamamanda Madirgati Mat Sarvasva Padam Bhojo Radha Madan Mohan. Jayatam Suratar Pangor Mamamanda Madirgati. Oh my Lord, I don't have that sound intelligence through which I can dedicate my all activities at your lotus feet. But by your mercy, it happens that even though I am Pangu, means handicapped, I am not capable to take shelter at your lotus feet, but by your mercy, it happens. And that's why this form of the Lordship is considered as a Sambandha Adide, who establishes our relation with Him. So next temple is Shri Radha Govinda Dev. And Govinda Dev is known as a Abhideya Devata. Abhideya means process through which you can attain their Lordship. And that is none other than the devotion to their Lordship. And that has explained by Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami has established this temple. There is a nice story about this temple. This temple used to have 7 floors like this. Now it is like 1, 2, 3 floors are there. Another 4 floors used to be there on this top. And it used to be a huge, one of the biggest temple on the North India. Again, our great friend Aurangzeb, he got jealous with this monument and he sent his people and he broke down all the top 4 floors. And still, just recently actually, in 15 years back, government somehow or other came ahead and they rebuilt the broken part of this temple. This temple consists 2 extensions. On the left hand side extension, if you climb the stairs, go up, again you have to climb down. Twice of the steps down. Then there is a deity of Yogamaya. Yogamaya is Purnamasi, who makes arrangements for the Lord to perform all his pastimes in Vrindavan. So they have deities of Yogamaya there also. And same on the other side, they have deities of Vrindadevi. Because Vrindavan is known by her name. And this temple is on the hill. And that hill used to be known as a Surabhi Tila. One day Rupa Goswami was having his bhajan